Welcome back to Real Shift, where we like to talk real shit all day, every day, all for the love of movies. I am Joe. Before I get into it today, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. Any little bit of feedback or support would be greatly appreciated. I'm here today because we have huge news as it pertains to the Flash movie that is coming sometime next year, I believe. So apparently, we've already been informed that it is a Flashpoint adaptation. Although it's not going to be directly adapted from the comic book, they are probably going to take some liberties. It is, in that general story, will be covered in the new movie. We've already previously heard that Michael Keaton will be returning as his version of Batman, supposedly. Or there's also been talk that he could possibly be the dark version of Batman that Thomas Wayne would usually play in that story. But it's yet to be seen what exactly his role will be. Well, now we have news today that Ben Affleck is returning as Batman for the new Flash movie. And I think this confirms that we're obviously going to be traveling through the multiverse, I assume, in the new Flash movie. And we're going to get to see different versions of Batman. And I think this is an amazing idea. I said this when they announced the Michael Keaton was coming back. I said that this is what DC needs to do. They need to take all their properties, their entire catalog, everything that they've made already, and they could put it all together, because there is this thing called the multiverse. You can bring back these characters, these beloved characters that'll make people feel nostalgic, like Michael Keaton's Batman. And you can bring them back because you have the ability to do that. You own every single piece of everything that's been created by DC as far as films go, pretty much. So you have the ability to bring all that back, and I think them taking full advantage of that is a great move by DC. It's a great move by WB. A lot of people have criticized them for the way they've handled the properties, and in some cases rightfully so. But they seem to be, at the very least, trying to rectify things, and I think they're also listening to the fans, to be quite honest. That's evident by the impending release of the Snyder Cut. I think by bringing back Michael Keaton, you know the love that the Batman fan base and DC in general fan base has for Michael Keaton's version of the character. You hear all the rumblings about how much we love Ben Affleck's more intimidating, brooding, hulking version of the character, and you're trying to appease those fans, and I think that is the way to go. I think you just have to listen, and we'll tell you what we want, to be quite honest, and they are listening. Few things to point out here. Apparently, Andy Muschietti, who is the director and writer of the new Flash movie, he talks about quite extensively to Vanity Fair that he realizes that this is Barry's movie 100%. Like, it is a Flash movie through and through. Like, that is the prime focus of it. However, he is very complimentary to Ben Affleck's Batman, and saying, basically that he gave him the script, and once Ben read it, that he was all on board because it portrays Batman in the way that Ben had always intended to. I think Ben had a plan with Batman that he wasn't able to fully execute. Because of the exit of Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon taking over and everything going in a new direction, I don't think we got to see the Ben Affleck Batman that we really deserved, or that he wanted to show us. And I think, from the sounds of it, I'm just speculating, because of course none of us have seen the script or know much about it really, but it sounds to me like they captured that maybe, and they're giving him a chance. Even if he doesn't appear again, they're giving him a chance to have closure and to go out on a high note, and I think that is really awesome, to be quite honest. In the same aspect, you could say the same thing for Michael Keaton. He never really got closure either. I mean, he got replaced, basically, or decided not to do it, but his story wasn't ever really finished, and this might be a chance for them to do that as well. I knew that the release of the Snyder Cut was going to cause the dominoes to fall, and it was going to have a ripple effect. It's not to say that everything has to be related to Zack Snyder's DC Universe. That's the beauty of the multiverse. You can do whatever you want. But I did have a feeling that because of the reaction to the Snyder Cut, and if it is as good as we all hope it's going to be, that his characters, his story that he created doesn't necessarily have to be done. It's not done, I don't think. Maybe it is. I mean, maybe his 3-arc story, that's all he wants to tell, and he'll move on. But if there's enough demand, I wouldn't be surprised if they ask him to continue. And that's not to say that we can't have movies like The Batman that's being made by Matt Reeves starring Robert Pattinson. And it mentions in this how this has no effect on that whatsoever. Like, that movie is the solo Batman franchise. That's what it is moving forward. And the whole Affleck thing is a part of the DCEU and the multiverse type thing. And I'm totally okay with that. I mean, I'd be okay even if Robert Pattinson's Batman made an appearance in The Flash. Like, they have the ability to do all this. It doesn't have to affect one another. We don't have to have one version of Batman at a time. We can have one, we can have two, we can have several. It doesn't, I think people are smart enough to catch on to that fact. It doesn't have to be one guy every time for a certain amount of years and then they just move on and replace him and bring someone else in. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. You can tell so many different stories and so many different variations of the character by just allowing different filmmakers to come in and have their selective visions, their own creative visions, and put their own spin on the character, and allow new actors to come in and put their own spin on the character. Like, the possibilities are endless. I never understood why studios limit themselves to a box. Like, this is Batman for the next 5 years or the next 6 years or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Like, tell one-off stories that don't have a connection to anything else. Just give us Death in the Family stories, or just give us a Killing Joke live-action movie and have it not be connected to any other movies at all. I'm fine with that. Like, I don't need a connection. But I think the whole idea of bringing back Ben Affleck is, yeah, it's just to appease the fans. I think they definitely heard our cries. They hear the support that Ben Affleck gets. I mean, a lot of people support his version of Batman, and rightfully so. I mean, it's probably the most comic accurate Batman that we've had up until this point, and that's saying something. And I think people recognize that. I think now even WB recognizes that. Like, there's a reason that Zack Snyder chose Ben Affleck to be this character, because he kind of embodies him in many different ways. And I'm not even going to get into the conversation of which Batman is better or anything like that. I love all of them, to be quite honest. So as a Batman fan right now, between the Keaton news and now this news, I can't be happier. Like, I am ecstatic. I mean, we have possibly a new Arkham game announcement coming up within the next few days. DC Fandom, the event, is coming up in the next few days. I mean, I'm really excited. This is probably the excited I've been for any kind of comic book related material in a long time. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this turns out. But let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments down below. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree? I can't imagine why you would, but there might be some people. But I really am looking forward to this and can't wait to see, like, how they make it all work. So let me know about all this in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching, and peace out.